Mike Tyson's journey to becoming one of the most unforgettable and polarizing figures in boxing history is a tale of triumph, trauma, redemption, and controversy. From a troubled childhood in the tough neighborhoods of Brooklyn to becoming the youngest heavyweight champion in the world, Tyson's story reads like a myth brought to life in the squared circle. The milestone moment that forever changed boxing history came on November 22, 1986, when a 20-year-old Tyson demolished Trevor Berbick in Las Vegas to claim the WBC heavyweight title. That night, he wasn't just crowned champion. He became the youngest heavyweight title holder in the sport's history, a record that remains intact to this day. But Tyson's legacy extends far beyond that one historic night. His meteoric rise, infamous controversies, and roller coaster downfall have made him not only a boxing icon but also a cultural phenomenon whose name resonates far outside the ring. Michael Gerard Tyson was born on June 30, 1966, in the Brooklyn borough of New York City to Jimmy Kirkpatrick and Lorna Tyson. He was the youngest of 3 siblings, and life was turbulent from the beginning. His father abandoned the family when Tyson was just 2 years old, leaving Lorna to raise Michael, his older brother Rodney, and sister Denise on her own. The family moved to Brownsville, a crime-infested neighborhood where danger lurked on every corner. Tyson was small, shy, and frequently bullied, which pushed him toward street fighting at a young age. In an effort to survive, he joined a gang known as the Jolly Stompers. His role in the group was to rob stores. He would snatch money from cash registers while his crew held victims at gunpoint. Unbelievably, Tyson was only 11 years old when he started down this criminal path. By the age of 13, Tyson had already been arrested over 30 times for petty crimes, ranging from theft to assault. His criminal behavior landed him in the Tryon School for Boys, a juvenile detention facility in upstate New York. There, Tyson encountered Counselor Bob Stewart, a former Golden Gloves boxing champion. Tyson pleaded with Stewart to teach him how to box, and while Stewart was initially reluctant, he agreed under one condition: Tyson had to stay out of trouble and commit to his education. Though previously written off as learning disabled, Tyson began showing academic improvement, reading at a 7th grade level within months. But it wasn't academics that ignited his passion. Tyson became obsessed with boxing, often practicing his punches in the dark long after lights out. Recognizing the limits of his own training, Stewart introduced Tyson to the legendary boxing manager and trainer Cus D'Amato in 1980. D'Amato, based in Catskill, New York, had already molded champions like Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres. From their first meeting, D'Amato saw something exceptional in Tyson. He offered to take Tyson under his wing, not just as a trainer, but as a legal guardian and father figure. Living with Cus and his partner Camille Ewald, Tyson entered a new chapter in life. Under D'Amato's rigorous discipline and training philosophy, Tyson's life began to transform. He attended Catskill High School by day and trained relentlessly every evening. D'Amato even arranged amateur fights and non-sanctioned bouts to give Tyson experience and resilience. In 1982, tragedy struck when Tyson's mother, Lorna, passed away from cancer. The loss deeply affected Tyson. He later admitted he never felt like he made his mother proud, that she only knew him as a wild kid getting into trouble. Around the same time, his behavior led to expulsion from Catskill High School, though he continued his education through private tutoring. Meanwhile, his boxing ambitions were growing stronger. In 1984, Tyson participated in the Olympic trials but failed to make the team after losing to Henry Tillman. It was a tough setback, but D'Amato knew it was time for Tyson to turn professional. Tyson made his professional boxing debut on March 6, 1985, at just 18 years old. Facing Hector Mercedes in Albany, New York, he delivered a first-round knockout that set the tone for what was to come. Tyson's fearsome combination of speed, power, and head movement overwhelmed opponents. His intimidating aura earned him the nickname Iron Mike. But as his career surged forward, he was hit with another devastating blow. Cus D'Amato passed away in November 1985 from pneumonia. The man who had raised and trained him was gone. Kevin McBride took over as Tyson's trainer, and less than 2 weeks later, Tyson scored another victory, dedicating the win to D'Amato. Though he continued to rack up wins, those close to Tyson say he never fully recovered emotionally from Cus' death and a meteoric rise through the heavyweight ranks. Tyson compiled an astonishing 27-0 record in just 18 months. This dominance earned him a title shot against Trevor Berbick, the reigning WBC heavyweight champion. Berbick, who had previously defeated an aging Muhammad Ali, was a 3-1 underdog going into the November 22, 1986, bout. That night in Las Vegas, Tyson demolished Berbick in just 5 minutes and 35 seconds, knocking him out in the second round. At 20 years and 4 months old, Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, shattering Floyd Patterson's record. After the fight, Tyson told his manager, "I'm the youngest heavyweight boxing champion in history, and I'm going to be the oldest." It was a bold declaration, and one rooted in vengeance. In a later interview, Tyson admitted the fight was personal. Berbick had badly beaten Muhammad Ali in his final fight, and Tyson saw it as his mission to avenge his idol. "I was going to kill him," Tyson said, recalling the rage he felt watching Berbick pummel the fading legend. Tyson's reign continued with astonishing success. On March 7, 1987, he added the WBA title by defeating James Smith. Then, on August 1, he claimed the IBF belt from Tony Tucker, becoming the first heavyweight to unify all 3 major titles. But as he climbed to the pinnacle of boxing, cracks began to form. Tyson began relying too much on his knockout power, and his ring performances became erratic. He blamed his trainer, Kevin McBride, and fired him in mid-1988, a move many believe marked the beginning of his decline. On February 11, 1990, Tyson faced James "Buster" Douglas in Tokyo in what was expected to be a routine title defense. Tyson was a 42-1 favorite, but Douglas had other plans. After being knocked down in the 8th round, Douglas came back with a vengeance in the 10th and floored Tyson for the first time in his career. The referee counted him out, and with that, Tyson's undefeated streak and his heavyweight crown were gone. The world watched in disbelief as the seemingly invincible Tyson fell from grace. Still determined, Tyson bounced back by defeating Henry Tillman, the same man who had denied him an Olympic berth. But his career soon took another turn, as he began preparing for a long-anticipated fight against Evander Holyfield. That match never materialized initially, as Holyfield fought Douglas instead, beating him to become champion. The Tyson-Holyfield showdown was finally set for November 9, 1996. Tyson entered the ring as a heavy favorite, but the night did not go his way. Holyfield weathered Tyson's early aggression and knocked him out in the 11th round, making history by becoming the second man to win the heavyweight title 3 times. Enraged and feeling victimized by what he described as repeated headbutts during the fight, Tyson demanded a rematch. On June 28, 1997, the two met again in one of boxing's most infamous nights. The rematch, broadcast to nearly 2 million pay-per-view households, started competitively. But in the 3rd round, Tyson shocked the world by biting off a piece of Holyfield's ear. Then, moments later, he bit him again. Referees had no choice but to disqualify him. Tyson's license was revoked by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and he was fined $3 million. The incident became a defining moment in Tyson's career, a moment of unfiltered rage that forever tarnished his legacy. In 1998, Tyson's license was reinstated, and he returned to the ring the following year. He had mixed success, winning 4 bouts but failing to recapture his old dominance. Then came the 2002 bout against Lennox Lewis, a unification fight for the WBC, IBF, and IBO titles. The build-up was explosive, literally. At a press conference, Tyson and Lewis sparked a brawl that nearly derailed the event. Tyson even threatened to eat Lewis's children in a moment of pure chaos. But when the fight finally took place, Lewis soundly defeated Tyson by knockout. It was the beginning of the end. Tyson fought 3 more times. He lost to Danny Williams in 2004 and then to journeyman Kevin McBride in 2005. That night, Tyson quit on his stool and announced his retirement, saying he didn't have the stomach for it anymore. He confessed that he felt like he was 120 years old. With those words, the curtain closed on a legendary yet tumultuous career. In 2011, Tyson was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He later reinvented himself, appearing in films and TV shows, writing a best-selling autobiography, and becoming an advocate for mental health and sobriety. He even launched a successful cannabis business. In 2020, he made a surprising return to the ring for an exhibition bout against Roy Jones Jr., looking fit after losing 100 pounds on a vegan diet and treadmill workouts. And now, Tyson is set to step into the spotlight once again. He briefly came out of retirement for a sanctioned 8-round fight against YouTube star Jake Paul. Originally set for July 20, 2024, the bout was postponed to November 15 after Tyson suffered a medical scare involving a flare-up of an ulcer. Through 58 professional fights, Tyson recorded 50 wins, 6 losses, and 2 no contests. Of those victories, 44 came by way of knockout. But Tyson's story is about more than numbers. It's about a boy from the streets of Brooklyn who turned his rage into power, his fists into legend, and his name into something that will forever echo in the history of combat sports. Let us know how you reflect on the incredible ups and downs of Mike Tyson's career, a story of redemption, destruction, and perhaps a final act still waiting to unfold.